Hey, welcome back for another session of Alabaster Kingdom here on Dice Friends. I am your dungeon manager today, Nathaniel Kiss, aka What Is Kiss, aka your new best friend for the next couple of hours or so. Below me, I got some friends we're going to be rolling some dice with. Let me introduce you to them, and by which I mean they're going to tell you about them themselves.
Uh, Hi, I am Chantel B. You can find me on Twitter at Chantel B. Today, tonight, time zones, I am playing Lailai, the changeling druid, who is confused, very confused.
Hi, I'm Laron, pronouns he, him, and I'm playing Wallace Bullheart, pronouns also he, him, the Minotaur firefighter. That's a new one. Uh, you can follow me at most places at Readus101. That's READUS, the number one, the number zero, the number one. Mostly Twitter. I'm mostly on Twitter and YouTube.
Hello. Hi, I'm Courtney, aka Sparkly Kiss, pronouns they, them. You can find me everywhere as Sparkly Kiss. I will be playing as Barnaby, aka Shredded Garfield, aka Danger Boy, and aka Alabaster's cat. Pronouns he, him. That's his Finsta account.
And as I am known for, I bring up the rear, saving the last for last. My name is Jordan Ali, although some may know me as Werewolf. My pronouns are he, him. Today I'm playing Coh'Jak Satya, the celestial warlock whose pronouns are he, they. We recently learned that Coh'Jak is dead. That's about it.
And let's see what new mysteries lay in front of us today. So when we last left off, our players made it through a door to require death as a key to unlock. As they made their way through the door, they met a stranger who was also coming through at the same time. The stranger proved to be hostile, engaged in combat with them, which was quickly ended after Wallace shot a fireball at them, caused a big boom boom. The players then found a giant conduit that was connected to what looked like a window into another plane, a window plane, if you will. While the cave-in was happening behind them, Wallace and Barnaby doubled back, while Lailai and Coh'Jak investigated the giant magical conduit. And as they looked through this crystal that contained this energy, they saw some familiar faces. Could you two refresh me about who and what you saw?
We saw some friends. Some old friends. Like Jordan, the Tinkerer. And Sirwa the Rogue. Rie the Fighter. Coh'Jak the Warrior.
Mm-hmm. That one's kind of the important one. We saw Coh'Jak the warrior.
Did we? Is that really? Do we need to focus on that one?
We need to focus on that one. That one's important. Just saying.
And you were compelled to destroy the conduit after you all saw this vision, which then ended the curse of the Death Shadow, which granted everyone their memories of the dead. And I'm sure you all have some feelings regarding that. As as Barnaby and Wallace came running on back, they brought a cave in with them, and everyone had to jump through that window pane. On the other end, they encountered another fight with some very rude people yelling at them from atop a balcony. The players made quick work of them and pursued the person who was directing the traffic of these dastardly folks through a door that led into a field that appeared to be outside. And that is where we are going to start. As the players walk through a rug that was just placed in the middle of a threshold, the door opens and you see a field, low cut grass, with a huge tower 5 stories high in the center of it. And as you all come through, you can see the figure of the person who was yelling at you all down before, who ordered for the caption of Barnaby and for the quick death of Coh'Jak, casually walking on top, loading what appears to be a long weapon. Right off the bat, can I get some perception checks from all of you?
Oh, this is going to be fun.
17.
Oh. I got that
14.
minus 10.
Oh, Wallace.
Oh,
So at 17 and 4, was that a minus 10? What was
No,
that?
Lailai got 17, right?
mm-hmm.
I got 10 minus that.
So it's 7. You're saying
Yeah,
that word
yeah.
7.
Listen, if I say it this way, it doesn't feel as bad.
So we got 17, 14, 7, and 21.
Mhm.
No, it's cool. All right, so as you all walk through, I think Wallace at this point is still just kind of like cold. You all see the figure that you were able to identify before as Kyle, Ethan, Ivan, walking to the top of this long cylinder-like tower. Just looking down at the four of you, Coh'Jak, with your magical eyes and your 21 roll, the entire space and field that you are all in is illusionary magic. It is very powerful because you can both see and feel it. You also get the sense that within the air of the space, there's also some divination magic at play as well. Lailai, you are able to determine that the grass in the space that you're in is not nature. This is not real grass. Being a grassland druid, I would assume that that is your specialty. But the sky that you see above... Oh, sorry, what was that?
No, grass? No.
What is
It's not.
grass?
Oh, sorry.
What is grass? Grass? No.
Oh, graze.
Grace. Oh, yes, the grace. So it's not natural grace.
It's not.
I believe they call it
Thank you.
astroturf.
Astro.
Astro.
The turf.
Yes.
Turf.
Yes.
Thank you.
And the sky in this small pocket field looks like it's constantly rippling, it's constantly moving. It's like if you were to paint a skyline on a canvas for like a theatrical production, and it just gently kind of blows. It has that effect. The figure continues to walk to the top and then takes a perch. Would anyone like to do or make any actions at this point?
Oh, Wallace is just wondering why we're all outside now. So he's
Just to double check, like, what time of day is it? What color is the sky?
That's an important question, yes.
The sky itself just has a very it's either right before dusk or right at the last bit of twilight before the start of dawn. If you were trying to make sense by any use of constellations or from the start or end of where the sunlight might be coming from, it wouldn't make sense. The physics wouldn't be there. It would be like several spots of like a source of light that would be you would assume would be the sun. But it seems to be more for aesthetic than actual practicality sense.
Cool. Barnaby's just forgetting how long they've been traversing the tunnel.
The figure from up top just kind of yells down to them. So, Reba didn't send you all.
You've asked that 5 times already. If we knew somebody named Reba, we would have let you know. That's a very unique name.
They kind of take that information and then yell back down. Well, pardon pardon me repeating myself. I'm just trying to make sense of all of that's happening. You see, I put a lot of work into what's going on here, and I think you four might have made a mistake and ruined it all for me. You set me back a good couple of weeks as they continue to load the weapon.
What is happening here? What are you doing?
Just making this world a better place.
Wallace, Coh'Jak is going to take the glaive, put it behind his back, cross his back, let the others talk, and turn it into a longbow.
Note it. Now, if you can just stand right there, or move, I'll be putting an end to this very quickly. They turn over and they make eyes with Barnaby and says, "But you, I'm going to save you for last." Roll for initiative, my friends.
Oh. I don't know.
Barnaby's so brave.
That's
Player's
better.
so scared.
17.
17 for Wallace.
Definitely saving Barnaby for last with a roll of 3.
Ooh. Barna 3. I'm sorry. Lailai 13.
No, you're not.
I'm not.
Don't say sorry when you're not.
Coh'Jak was 6.
Yeah, I got a 6. I thought I was going to be the last, but turns out I was wrong. So
You're
wrong.
You're making the best longbow ever. And we're going to do 21. All right. So let's add them in. Perfect.
I'm in danger.
No, you're not. You're fine.
So we have Kyle, Ethan, Ivan loading up, and they step to the very top. And once again, the field itself is 100 by 100 feet. And if you can picture that in kind of like a giant circle, squares, hexes, whatever your theater of the mind allows you to see. In the center of their tower, they take this long weapon and then aim it down. And this first one is going to go right at Wallace as they launch 4 bolts into the air.
Not the Wallace half of Wallaby.
The bolts meet in the sky and they come down like very short crossbow bolts that seem to be directed and drawn immediately towards Wallace. As all 4 of them zoom in, Wallace, they collide with you for 17 points of damage.
Okay, we're going to shield that.
You shield them?
Yes.
All of
So
them.
my AC is now at 20.
What does your shield look like to you?
My shield, it's more of it happens as a reflex. So whenever like someone's like approaching him, it's like more like a flinch whenever like he's covering up. It's almost as if a fiery dragon wing is sprouting from like his arms, as if to actually like properly like cover him from any damage.
The 4 bolts collide with your flaming dragon wing and are immediately incinerated, dealing 0 points of damage. This garners the response of fear, but that kind of turns into sort of a good fear, a fun fear in this person's eyes. As they yell something, does anyone in the group speak Celestial?
Let me just double check something.
Lailai, you hear in the language of Celestial something that translates loosely into castle doctrine. as they quickly load another one and take a shot at Wallace again. 4 bolts in the same fashion. An action surge. And this one, it's going to come down for 15 points of damage. Do you allow it to hit?
I think my shield stays up until the beginning of my next turn, so I'm still at 20 AC.
Ah. Then they all collide with the shield. They see this, and instead of backing up, you see their eyes start to emit some light, and you can see from where they're standing, it's that very faint pale blue light as it covers them, and they move from the tower in the center of the space further back on the very far end, tower and all. Next up, Wallace, it's your turn.
All right, I just had enough of that little shooter thing over there, so we're just going to throw a firebolt at it.
What's the range of firebolt, my friend?
Ooh, it's 120 feet, but I rolled an 11.
Ooh. And that 11 is not going to hit. They're easily able to make some cover right behind the tower that they're shooting from.
Okay. So, I was specifically aiming at the trebuchet or whatever it was.
Oh, it's in their hand.
Oh, I thought it was mounted. Okay, never mind then. Well, I missed regardless. So, I'm going to use this opportunity to give myself a little relief via second wind.
Nice.
So I'm going to roll 2d10s plus 2 for my HP. So that I heal 14 points of damage.
Awesome. And will that be the end of your turn?
It would be, yes.
And would you like to stay there, or would you like to move?
I would... I would like to stay there.
Cool. All right. Next up, Lailai.
So we're 100 feet away. Is there any cover between where we are and the tower?
Absolutely no cover. The tower, though, is right in the center. 50 feet away, has moved to 400 feet away from you all.
So what I'd like to do is run as close as I can, but also look out for traps. So I suppose that would be move action and then investigation for the second action.
What's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 15.
15? As you run and try to clear the space between you and the tower and the shooter from the top, you do a general look around and you get no feeling for any traps on the ground.
Okay. Then I will dash, and that will be what I do.
60 feet for it? Mm-hmm. All right. Coh'Jak, your turn.
I pull out the bow and shoot twice directly at the 3 named evil.
All right. Roll for it, my friend.
I would love to. Oh, ignore that roll. That's not the right roll. Whoops. This is the right roll, however. So the first one's a 16. Second one is a 16. 2 10s in a row. Damn.
16's hit.
Great. So the first one hits for 6 points of damage. The second one hits for 7 points of damage. I pull out this bow that's the main part of the bow seems to be made of the same material as the glaive. The ends are like coated in crystal and form a crystalline string in between them. As I reach back, I pull out of nothing a crystalline arrow that just literally is just a small sliver of pure crystal. I pull it back, I aim quietly, take the shot, and then I pull another one out and take another shot.
And the total amount of damage was that?
The total amount of damage was, and this is magic damage, so that's worth pointing out, is 13 points of damage.
13 points of damage. From the distance away, and even from this tower, Kyle, Ethan, Ivan sees what you're planning to do. And it's one of those moments for them where it's just the look of, fuck around and find out. And they just found out. The first arrow collides right into their hand, knocking the weapon out of it. And the second one follows up, hitting them right in the right shoulder. They do not look like they took that hit very well from where you're standing. It would hard to determine exactly how much damage was dealt. But Coh'Jak feels in a sense of like their weapon did their job.
Hell yes.
All right. Anything else for this turn?
You can always surrender. Just ask.
Barnaby, you're next.
So hearing that Barnaby wants to be saved for last is oddly exciting for him because finally a challenge. And does everything in his power to bum rush the tower. So I am going to take both of my action, or just double move. My movement speed is 45, so.
Darn.
You are at the base of the tower.
Oh boy.
And that's your full turn?
Yeah, I don't think I can do anything else because the stairs are like on the outside or on the inside?
On the outside, there appears to be just like handholds to climb. But there could be another passage to get in, probably around the rear or on the side that you don't have the point of view to see.
Okay. I think Barnaby is just going to double move and then gaze up the tower and figure out how he's going to go up it.
Cool.
And that's going to be his turn.
You see Kyle, Ethan, Ivan reemerge. Their hair still kind of like fashionably messy, but this time even more so, more distressed. As you see the giant piece of crystal that's just launched into their right shoulder, leaking just ichor out onto their clothes. As they grab onto the side of the tower where they ducked down before, and this time a mounted weapon manifests from the side of it.
Damn it.
Taking aim at the group in the back that are all close together. Wallace and Coh'Jak, you two give me some dexterity saves.
A dex save?
Yes, please.
What if instead I roll a 7?
Wait, that's like a 17 minus 10.
And I rolled an 8.
That's like an 18 minus 10.
Kids, we're so excited to be back here this week that we're just trying to give you these gifts.
Yep.
As this time, from the lip of the tower that they're on kind of forms out into a giant barrel, as a piece of large rampart and debris just shoots out, detonating upon the surface of where Wallace and Coh'Jak are. I'm going to do this the old-fashioned way. It's a lot of D6s.
Oh, no.
Wait, did we just get a mortar shot at us?
Oh,
Yes, you did. You all take 10. 12 points of damage. Half of that, 12 points full because you both failed.
Oh, you said 12?
12 points of damage.
Okay.
Fire damage.
I feel like... No, never mind. I'm not that high level yet. Okay. All right.
After doing this, they are going to take their bonus action to reload as they aim it down, directly down. And that will end their turn. Wallace, how you doing?
Well, I'll put it to you this way. I started off this campaign at 25 hit points. Well, this session at 25 hit points before taking my heal, and now I've only gained 2 more
Hey,
since.
it's cool. That's why
Yeah.
parties have clerics.
Do they? Do they have clerics?
In theory. What are you gonna do, my friend?
Well, now that he has seen, he knows that he saw that Barnaby's taken off, but and he's also about to take off as well. But he's also going to look back at Coh'Jak as if because we both just got whatever that was.
That exact same sound. That's the sound effects I'm going to use too. A partial transform.
And he's just gonna look at Coh'Jak as I probably already know the answer to this, but are you good?
That's a good question. So when the first blast comes, a spirit folds itself around Coh'Jak and literally just gets atomized. Coh'Jak himself has like minor burns all over his arms, so he's still damaged, but the brunt of it was the last bit taken. So I'm at 23 hit points now. I'm good. Comparatively, I'm good.
He's just gonna look at you weird because of how you reacted, because Wallace just got small things shot at him, and he doesn't know whether or not how to feel about that. But he's like, all right, I'm gonna go now, and then he's just gonna double book it for 60 feet.
Quietly, Coh'Jak just mutters, maybe loud enough for Wallace to hear, maybe not. Doesn't really matter. I'm dead anyway.
Can I roll?
I feel Wallace picks up on that.
Okay.
Anything else after your dash action?
If he does hear that, he's just going to think to himself, well, that might not have been his dad after all.
Hey, you know what? At least we solved that mystery.
One in the old books.
Here it is. We solved the daddy puzzle. Next up, Lailai, it's your turn.
Lailai is. If he's pointing down, huh?
Looks like the
Yeah.
intentions for Barnaby next.
Yeah, I mean, if Lailai just runs over there, that's not helpful. So, going to head in the direction, but try to stay out of range of that. And use my action to cast Produce Flame, so I'm just holding it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Fireball in the hand, and it's a bonus action to throw, correct?
I believe it's I believe it's an action.
Okay.
The flame just appears in my hand as an action. I'm holding it.
Cool.
I have fire.
You have fire.
Ta-da.
You have firearms.
Yeah, let's just hope nobody goes, oh, you know what? Black powder. Boom. While
Like-
I'm just holding fire.
The more advanced technique of pocket sand. Pocket gunpowder.
Pocket gunpowder.
I always keep some on me. Just not in game, in real life.
Oh, good thing
Pretty cool.
it's your turn now.
Yeah.
In game, not in real life.
Darn. When will it be my turn, world? When I walk forward, taking 35 feet forward because that's my walking speed, and I'm just firing at Ivan as I go 2 more times.
Cool.
Give
me those rolls.
Mechanically, I can't move and attack at the same time, but it really doesn't make a difference. So let's just pretend I do.
I mean, yeah, it looks cool. You're just kind of moving and shooting. I'll allow it. All right. Give me those rolls.
Yeah. So the first one is an 8, which I'm assuming does not hit. And the second
Does
one
not hit.
is a 9. Oh, brilliant. We're doing great today.
What is happening?
Oh, they missed twice.
It's true. They missed twice.
This time, your crystal arrows do not find their mark. Is there anything you like to do for the rest of your turn, or is that it?
I have one item interaction I can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
I make a crystal arrow with a hook on the end and just sling the hook over a loose coil of rope I have.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
Okay. So you move 35 feet again, right?
Yeah. I move only one round of 35 feet closer.
Cool. All right. Barnaby, it's your turn.
Oh my god, okay. With these rolls, I'm terrified to do what I want to do, but Barnaby is going to look up at Kyle, Ethan,
Ivan, 2 ends.
and he's gonna stare just long enough to hope that they like make eye contact, and then he's going to smirk, charge the tower, and attempt to climb it.
What's your climbing speed?
I don't remember where that is on this sheet. Oh no.
It should be half of your normal speed. Unless you've got a special thing that stops it from being.
Well, you got claws.
I do have claws.
So I would say that would kind of like mitigate your climbing speed.
Wait, so there's no door inside the tower?
We
There
saw
might be
that
at the back, but we haven't looked at it.
Haven't you heard the story of Rapunzel? There's no door. Why build a door to tower?
So
spoiler alert for Rapunzel, by the way.
So Barnaby is just climbing up the tower. Okay, all right.
Yeah, well, Kiss described there were footholds, right? And Barnaby is a little flashy, so
You know what?
he's gonna-
That's fine. All right. You climb that Arrow Crag.
Salmon ladder up like the Arrow season 1.
I'm hoping that it looks like, you know, when a lion runs in a field, but vertically. That's what I want.
Like a field tower. Gotcha. Okay, give me an athletics check. I just want to see something.
Ooh, 10?
10 total?
His hands are clammy. For sure.
Okay.
How about the fall?
No, it's fine. Like a 10 set, you're going up. A couple of blocks start falling off as you grab them, and as you continue to like move around and maintain your position and hold on the tower, you notice that some of these blocks are moving out right before you grab them, and it seems that as you go for some of them, they're already trying to get out of your grasp. You miss a few, but you don't fall down. You're able to cover 30 feet going up.
How many more do we have to go?
About 20 or so. All right. Brings the end of the round. Kyle, Ethan, Ivan with the motor. With the barrel facing directly down the side of the tower. Can you give me a dexterity save, Barnaby?
All right, let's do our best. Oh, why? Not 20, 21. What in the?
Wait, what?
My offense track.
Okay. All right.
All right, I'm still going to roll for damage, but I'm going to need some input from this. 66. Ooh, that's the one. All right. 10, 25.
Very convenient of you to roll that
26.
the one on the nat 20 dex save.
Whoa, okay, it's 26. Half, you get 13 if you succeed it. But with the natural 20, I'll give you your choice. Barnaby even takes 0 damage, or you take half damage, but you can move up 20 feet.
Half damage it is. Let's go. Okay.
All right, take 13 points of damage, and you're right next to Kyle, Ethan, Ivan on the top. perched right on top of that tower lip, just like your Goliath from Gargoyles.
Yeah, I was about to say just like gargoyles. 'Cause
Just like Gargoyles.
that's the energy I want. I want Keith David to voice my character now. I take it all back.
Jalapeno.
Oh, well, so now the reason why Wallaby exists is there you go. There you go.
The blast hits you, and I think Kyle Ethan Ivan sees that it may just like, oh, that was like a nice direct hit before seeing Barnaby just kind of like jump through, pouncing through the flames and fire, up past Kyle Ethan Ivan and over them.
Just like when Simba jumped through the flames on Scar.
No, not Mufasa. This is opposite Mufasa.
Opposite Mufasa. My bad. Simba and Mufasa look the same sometimes, but jumping through the fire. Let's do that.
It's
All
like
right.
how Scar died when he fell off of Pride Rock, and his son. Oh wait,
Deception, disgrace. Move on.
Not a Simba's Pride reference. Not a Simba's Pride.
Those gazelles and zebra ate that song up though.
it's a circle of
And
life.
there's a reason why it's the most.
Disgrace.
It's the reason why it's the most notable song from it. Yes.
It was the zebra. Okay, anyway, I'm going to. Anyway, for the bonus action this turn, instead of reloading, Kyle Ethan Ivan and the tower once again, with Barnaby on top, is then coated in that pale blue light. And they are moved on the very far right end center. Tower moves again. Wallace, it's your turn.
Is the man with three first names within my line of vision?
If you turn, yes.
All right. So there's a possibility that I already know the answer to this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway, because Barnaby is taking up the attention of said individual with three first names. Would the attention that is unaware, with the fact that he has no line of sight, or at least is completely focused on Barnaby, allow me to do something that will allow me to roll with advantage?
Walk me through it. What do you got in mind?
I am going to use the fact that that said three named individual is going through an oh shit situation with my betrothed, and would like to throw another firebolt directly at his back, since he is not paying attention to me.
I'll give you advantage on it. Go for it.
Cool. Thank you so much, because that was a 6. God damn it! That's another 6.
All right. I feel Wallace is more throwing this as support fire as opposed to trying to hit a mark. Just kind of like get away from Barnaby as opposed to.
It's what Wallace is telling himself, because it's like after the fact that he missed both, because it's like he's missing both because he sees that Barnaby is like right up there and is in the immediate danger and is worried sick, and then once he misses, he's like, okay, bright side. That might cause a distraction. All right, let's just get up there as quickly as possible, and I'm just going to spend another 30 feet to move.
Cool.
When I loosed those 2 arrows and they didn't work, it's also because I was so worried about Barnaby.
It's canon now, and not just Kyle Ethan Ivans. Lailai, it's your turn.
Lailai is going to attack the cannons. Yeah. I mean, I joke, but can I see Kyle Ethan Ivan? We can't just say Kyle, can we?
It's Kyle Ethan Ivan.
Wait, it's a Kyle Ethan Ivan. Gonna attack. Can I see Kyle?
Ethan Ivan, yes.
Ethan Ivan.
You just don't go say Chad. You say Chad Michael Murray.
Can I see Kyle Ethan Ivan? Yes.
You don't just say Sally. You say Sally Jesse Raphael.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. You're actually not wrong. I would like to throw my flame at him.
All right.
Yeah.
Launch it, my friend.
Fire!
This one. Please. I am also providing support fire.
Okay.
We all care about
Fireworks
Barnaby.
for the Barnaby
We care
show.
about Barnaby. I'm providing support fire, and you know what? I would like to look for a door.
Okay.
Is there a door?
You're gonna have to move around a bit, but if you go around to the other side of the tower, you have to spin a little bit more feet to get a clear view, just because it moved from a very far inside to back in the middle of the field, but on the very far right of the side.
Okay.
So you all moved right over here, so now it's over here with this back on this end.
Okay.
Facing opposite of you for the audio sake.
Okay.
For those of you listening at home, I'm moving my fingers around on the screen. There's no grid, but imagine my fingers being right here and right here.
Mm-hmm.
You hear that? All right, cool.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. I'm looking for.
It's called a
door.
talkie. Give me
And here comes a
perception check.
35-minute Jello ad.
Nothing better than cigarette-flavored Jello. Give me a perception check for Lailai.
That is a 13.
13. Around the back, you don't see. It seems like the tower itself is moving on its own. A door could be in the back if it were to move and make a door in the back or any kind of entrance. But it seems to be sort of just constantly sort of like moving at will, almost as if it has a mind of its own. A living tower.
I mean, I want to ask if it's natural, but
Still magical in nature.
okay. It's a living tower. Thank you.
And Coh'Jak.
I would like to also provide support fire. And hopefully what I'd like to support is my friends not getting fired upon. So I'm going to take this arrow with the rope. Many people would think with an arrow, with a rope, you shoot it into the wall and then you climb up. But not Coh'Jak. He shoots it into Kyle, Ethan, Ivan.
You made a harpoon.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
No, it's an arrow that has a rope, and then you can grab it and pull him off.
Yeah.
Okay, Scorpion. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's a get over hero.
If this succeeds, I'll even give you the line. I promise. Okay.
Roll for it, my friend.
I will. 20.
20 hits.
Get over here! And I just, I let loose the arrow.
First, roll for the damage of the arrow.
I can do that.
Thank you very much.
I can try at least. That's a 7 damage.
For a minute, I thought you were about to roll to get over here.
Roll to come hither.
With these looks, I mean, I don't need a roll.
No, Barnaby, right in front of you, you see the arrow from Coh'Jak pierce through the midsection of Kyle, Ethan, Ivan. I need a strength check from Coh'Jak. If you are going to pull over, that will be the get over here roll.
Yep. Athletics, probably.
I'll take an athletics check as well.
It doesn't really matter. It's the same roll. Okay. Maybe I have inspiration. Probably don't. I don't have inspiration. It's a 12.
A 12? You are able to get a good grasp on the rope.
Mhm.
Any other attacks coming into Kyle, Ethan, Ivan will be made at advantage. They will have to spend a turn to try to get themselves away from you. But you are able to yank them off the top of the tower. Yet,
Is that for all of us?
anyone attacking him while he has this thing just right through his midsection. And I'll move that turn over to Barnaby.
If you were to yank him off this tower when I spent my whole time getting up here, I swear to God, I was going to cut the rope. I was going to cut it. Okay.
Fight me, Courtney. Come to Canada and fight me.
You know what? Maybe not. Sorry.
We
Barnaby
just opened up
is
the
that.
borders. We can't do that.
Oh, geez. Okay, so Barnaby is going to take a moment because this man didn't tell us his name. We learned his name because his pictures were on banners in the previous room, right?
Yes.
And if you remember from a few sessions ago, Barnaby looted a pin that said, Kyle, Ethan, Ivan, embrace your identity.
Yes.
So Barnaby is going to pull that out and look at this man and be like, so, Kyle, Ethan, Ivan, embrace your identity, huh? And then he takes out his axe. I am going to have Barnaby rage. And he's going to say, how about you embrace this? And then he's going to swing his axe into him.
Roll at advantage.
$22.
How do you want to finish this encounter?
Damage roll was a 4.
Okay. How do you still want to finish it?
Plus 2 with the rage 6. So I think
Wait,
what
6?
Barnaby would, yeah.
Whenever they take 6 points of damage, they get back to full hit points. All right.
Wait, really?
I'm kidding. No.
I was ready to be so sad.
I yank him.
Disgrace.
He's unyankable. You can't yank when you have full hit points. Says so in the book. You can't yank.
Oh, I see.
Bloody yankers.
We're playing elementary school D&D. I got you. No, I have this fire shield, but you're only first level. I grind it.
Courtney,
Can't believe the deception and disgrace came back.
he should have known with the scar in his face.
Circle of life.
I hate it.
I like to think Barnaby kind of like swung his axe around a little bit, like, you know, when you see people do that with like a ball bat before they hit something really hard and really edgy movies, and does that and arcs it upward from the bottom up and just splits him in half. Just enough. That's what I want.
The bisection is perfect. Not a spot of ichor, blood, viscera, anything left on your axe. It cleans itself as it made its exit suture or cut right through it. Not a suture, that's the opposite. And for a moment, Kyle, Ethan, Ivan, with just the ooze just kind of dripping from the cut that you made, just stands there for a moment before succumbing to the injuries and turning to dust. Coh'Jak's crystal arrow becomes untaught, loosens, and falls back down to the bottom.
And it disappears.
Was it a dream? And with that, Barnaby feels himself being lowered down as the tower itself begins to crumble in that same kind of pale blue like light as it disintegrates, as well as the entire interior of the space as you all feel yourselves becoming closer, not in the figurative sense, but actually literally, as the room itself seems to get smaller. The entire illusion fades. You're in what appears to be an office. Everything in it appears to have been untouched, unfazed by the battle and everything that happened. with only the rug that was placed over the threshold of the door remaining. And then that eventually disintegrates into the blue light as well. The door that you all entered from is now open. I'll leave it to you all. What would you like to do?
I flick my hand and it's back to being a glaive as I walk back through the door, trying to follow in the footsteps of that silently, not even talking to the others. Part of me in shame, part of me, kind of sad, follows in the path of the one who betrayed his teammates. I think that was the thing. Didn't one person do that?
Yeah.
I noticed he escaped. I'm gonna follow him.
Okay.
Walk back, walk around, see what I can find.
What would Barnaby like to do?
Barnaby is still in deep denial about the realization that he remembers Amada, and he has a ton of questions. He doesn't really know exactly who Kyle, Ethan, Ivan was, so he's going to explore the rest of the facility to see if he can figure out what exactly their plans were.
And Wallace.
I imagine that when Wallace gets immediately upon the realization that they are not in like this open field that this door revealed to them and ends up in this office, he's just going to shrug it off. Okay, that was clearly some magic. And then, but at the same time, a lot of things just recalling a lot of things that just happened in the midst of jumping through the window, getting immediately enraptured into battle, dealing with the individual with 3 first names, and then coming back here, and then set piece after set piece, and seeing how quickly Barnaby left said office before Wallace even got a word out edgewise. He reflexively reaches for the door, but stops. Takes a breath. Steps away and starts searching the office.
Lastly, Lailai.
Lailai moves to follow Coh'Jak and then realizes they don't know what they would say even if they did. So while they follow, they stop in the first room that we came through. While they're moving, they're going to shift back into Lailai original. But they're also going to give themselves more humanoid eyes. So green eyes, but oddly the shape of Coh'Jak's.
Cool. For all 4 of you, if you are looking for something in particular, you can give me your choice of perception or investigation checks, as well as just a general feel around the space. If there's any other check that you would like to use, feel free to roll that. And then we're going to go to each of you one by one. Tell me what roll that you made, the number, and what you were seeking, and I'll tell you what you find. When all the rolls are in, or at least your roll is in, let me know and I can go to you first.
That would be me.
All right. And what did you roll for Coh'Jak?
I roll investigation because I am looking for something specific, specifically someone. Actually, I'd like to roll a stealth roll because if I can creep up on him, all the better.
Okay.
Let's do that. So I rolled a 6 in the stealth. That's not going to happen. However, for the actual investigation itself, I rolled a 19.
Cool. You are as quiet as you think you are.
I don't even think I'm very quiet. I'm honest with myself.
But you don't have a hard time falling back through the same way that the turncoat left through. The facility looks very modern to compare to what Coh'Jak has probably ever seen before. There appears to be light fixtures that are also in that same kind of like very thick glass, that seem to have, unlike, not like a coil in the middle, but something inside just to create like, a little arcane incandescent lamp. These fixtures kind of hang in these halls that kind of go on for a bit and lead to another kind of open space. And the way that it's set up is kind of like an expanded airplane hangar with an additional wing inside of it. However, at the end of this one, you come to a set of double doors that appear to have many locks on them. None of them actually locked at the moment. But if you were to push against them, they would give. Push hard enough, you can open it all the way. What was Coh'Jak do?
I think Coh'Jak goes down to his knees and contemplates his life choices and unlife choices up until this point. I'm going to take a short rest. Can I take a short rest here?
Not at the moment, no.
That's fine. Instead, he just meditates for a split second before standing back up, dusting off his kilt, putting one hand on either side.
The moment you push up against the doors, you see a beam of light come through, and you're immediately hit with not a gust of hot air, but just a wall of thick, hot, arid air as you just walk into a bright and very desolate desert, a redundant desert, if you will. The sun is high, not a cloud in the sky. The sky itself has a very clear blue. And off in both horizons, just looking around, it's gate and then nothing. A few dead trees.
Is this a magic trick like the tower was before it?
Give me an Arcana check.
Of course, I'd love to. 15.
Your eyes take a bit to adjust just because of how bright it is. And even with your magic sight, you're getting nothing. It's like your magic sight isn't even on. It's picking up absolutely nothing. You turn back and look in the facility. You pick up a few things here and there that give off that same kind of glow that you would feel from enchanted items or any magical items. Out in this wasteland, nothing at all. I'm going to switch it over to Barnaby for just a sec. Barnaby.
Evening.
You went for the head. Barnaby, where did you go off to check?
So he would just kind of have a quick strut looking through the rest of the facility, seeking other individuals because he has a few questions. Namely, why is he suddenly remembering his loved one? Why did Kyle, Ethan, Ivan want to keep Barnaby around and be the last one? And what were their intentions with this place? But Barnaby is still feeling that rage because his perception was a 5 and his ability to track things is a survival 14.
Oh my goodness. Looking around, I think it's more of you're not taking the moment to actually look at what it is because nothing is explicitly saying like, hey, go this way. Hey, it's this. And I feel there is a lot of emotion. There's a lot of tension, especially between that separation of you and Wallace without even checking in with each other. Barnaby goes on a bit of a tear until they hear something. It's the sound of soft movement, light movement, and it leads Barnaby to what appears to be just a cattle trailer that is in a section of the facility that, well, it's given off a smell, and I think that's the main reason that brought Barnaby to it. When you get there, you see these sections and rows of these cattle trailers with the tarps over them. From your survival check, you can see from just any source of light and from the sounds of the light movement, something's coming from underneath these trailers. Something's moving inside of these trailers, underneath the tarp, rather.
Barnaby would go up to the nearest one and just yank it down.
Barnaby yanks it down, and you see about a dozen figures. Bags under their eyes, kind of held against the side of these cages where they're bound. Some of them are just slouching just a bit, allowing their body to kind of rest up against the gate, either from fatigue of standing for too long or just in that same position. Others completely just dead weight, probably from standing there for too long. Some look a bit more fresh than the rest. None of them really look up at you at all, except for one of the fresh ones that just tries to peek over. Hey! 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 They call out to you.
Barnaby would lean up and say, What happened to you people?
Oh, what happened out there? We heard an explosion. What's going on? You're not one of them.
No, I don't even know who these people are.
The figure that's talking to you has a humanoid face with a very pronounced underbite with almost long canid-like tusk protruding out. Given the way that they look in their features, you would probably put some money on saying that they have like some Orcus ancestry in them. Sorry, what was the question?
Yeah, he's just like, I don't even know who these people are. What's the last thing you remember before being here?
Well, being taken in to be sourced. What happened back there? What's going on? What was the explosion?
Wait. What do you mean by sourced?
Well, sourced, and they kind of show the shackles that are around their hands and gestures to everyone else before they kind of realize, where are you from? Wait, just can you get us out of here?
Yeah, how many are you? And then Barnaby would look and just wants to get a scope for how many of these.
There are about 10 that are alive.
Okay. And then there's how many trailers? Is this just the one?
This is the only one that's filled. The rest seem to have been emptied out.
Yeah. Let's get you out of here. And Barnaby would look for where the lock would be and break it off.
Cool. You find it. Give me actually no strength check needed. You're a big beefy boy. They thank you, even if all the other members who seem to be captured inside don't really respond much. But they would be happy to tell you as much information as they know. Wallace, what's going on over there?
Wallace is calming himself down, trying to take into consideration everything that Barnaby probably just experienced upon the release of the curse. and is trying not to have his emotions like get the best of him, and realize that okay, he needs to go off. He needs to handle this. So he's just going to search around in the office because he remembers the map of his homeland and how it was projected on that one crystal, and he wants to and he wants to see if there's any ties to that within this office, because if that little window had a connection and there was clearly an individual from that outer room in that doorway that they were in before, then there might be some answers within wherever they got transported here to try and find it. And he just does a quick survey around the office, and he rolled a 14 perception. He rolled a 15, but he got a 14 perception.
Well, the 14, you actually are able to put together a couple of solid clues and an idea of what's happening here, at least. From the collection of maps that you found before, and I believe one of you took one of the items that had the maps. And you see these devices everywhere. The ones here have different sizes, different colors. Some also have like some light music playing out of them as they project different screens. Others just have what you're able to figure out, some way to kind of like tell time on them. You find one with the same image of the figure with the weapons who had the magical transporting tower. And you see underneath there is so much information about this individual, printed out as if it's what you can only assume is like a newspaper, a governing bid by this individual, how they wish to provide for all whites, how their vision for Charlotte is to expand what they've already begun doing. Another one, creator of Scrystone, has big unveiling after governing bid. Another, championship service finals this weekend. Weather reports iffy. Kyle, Ethan, Ivan, governor? Exclamation question mark. The interrobang after that sentence kind of suggests that this is a popular figure.
I don't know how to digest this. It's like I'm specific. I was looking for maps, and all of a sudden, I'm just seeing all this. Oh, at least he's dead. So,
and the worst part about this, probably, Wallace, is that these are all like clippings in his own office about himself.
So he's okay. All right. So I forget the word for that, but he's definitely that.
And eventually, underneath the pile of all of it, Wallace finds a map, a physical map, on paper. Underneath the desk, you see the entire the entire layout of the plane that you all just came from. Encircled is the site of the mountain peak. You see all the schematics and blueprints of layout of what seems to be an entire excavation site.
He had knowledge of this.
Lailai, you went back and checked out the main room that you all came in. Most of the smoke from the from your initial arrival has cleared out. Some of the equipment still appears to be damaged from the sparks that are given off. Nothing of the folks that attacked you remained.
Okay. So
Yes.
With a gonna blame Coh'Jak's eyes on this one. With a perception check of 8. But my passive is 15, so I don't know how that goes. What does the window look like now? Because what they're looking for and at is the architecture, because that is kind of what Coh'Jak does.
The window that allowed you to shift through planes was sort of like a translucent rectangle with devices on each of the 4 corners of the sides. When you all came through, it seemed that each of the 4 corners collapsed together, crashed into each other, and fell down. The window is no longer active.
Are all of the pieces still there?
Give me an Arcana check, advantage if you switch the Tinkerer.
I will do that thing. That's a 19 from Jordan.
In a way, yes. It seems that the pieces itself don't seem to be the hard part. They just seem to keep things together. It's the amount of energy that would be used to get this going. To put it in sort of like meta terms, you're looking at the energy equivalent to cast a 9th level spell. An upcast of a gate spell, essentially.
So there's no way back. Great. What else is in the room?
A major note besides the banners, you, with your passive perception, the space besides this room, as you kind of go down, like in that sort of like proscenium type of setup, this is probably the biggest space in the facility, and then just more slates with maps on them that sort of produce that same effect, and more that produce some sounds, and even a few that produce moving images.
What kind of moving images?
Figures talking directly at screen. You see some text accompany the figures that are talking. You see other images of these figures enacting some sort of play. Of this figure with this hair of full golden locks and these piercing blue eyes, slaying this very ferocious looking dark monster that seems to be terrorizing as this heroic figure slays the monster, and everyone just sort of cheers and lifts up the figure. You see another one of these people, just very femme looking, who are applying this sort of enchantment upon themselves to make themselves look more thinner, more skeletal, to add like more darkness under their eyes, as if that is some sort of feature that is to be desired. You see another one of these young people who are engaged in like very intense combat to the enjoyment of others, of these other figures that have the same features of the sort of, I guess, bloodlust. And you kind of flip through all these scenes of images kind of playing out. Eventually, they just start repeating.
Okay. One more thing. There was something that was thrown at Coh'Jak and at me. What I'd like to investigate that fluid or those chemicals, if there are any.
From what's left of the residue, it seems more of a concoction that creates a hallucinatory effect rather. So it's just an airborne hallucinogen.
Is there any potential for reverse engineering it?
Probably as a cure, you can find like natural components if you don't already have something on you right now. But the effects of something like this is very short term. After you've all kind of gone off, I'll say it takes a while. You spent like 10 minutes out, 10 minutes back. Barnaby undoing the lock, getting information from the person that they've recovered. Coh'Jak coming back inside from finding daylight outside. Wallace still in the office looking over the maps and the clippings from the papers, and Lailai going back from looking at the screen, looking at the remnants from the window plane, and coming back in the center. What do you got for me, Nordanelli?
I'd like to do a survival check to see on the ground in this sunlit room or area, desert. I want to see if many people have crossed this border or not. That's all.
If anyone came into this space or just been around in general.
Space. Basically, I want to know how many people actually have been wandering about this deserted, literal desert area.
Yeah, give me a survival check.
13.
From peeking out around outside, and I assume you like leave something there so the door doesn't close behind you.
Oh yeah.
You notice it's pretty hard to tell, both with the ground itself not offering much clues apart from just cracked, barely clay-like earth. It's lost all of its redness or any sense of nutrients in the soil. It's just crust at this point. And from looking around, all you see is a giant vehicle, an automated machine that appears just with the same sort of like mirage heat swirls around it, that only gives itself away because it's giving off a low sort of rumble to it. It's on, it's moving, but it's staying put.
Can I get closer?
How close do you want to get?
How close will you let me get?
You are able to get, up to it. About 60 feet away, you're able to sense that there is something or someone inside.
Make a mental image of it. I'll go back to the rest of my group.
Cool.
This is the kind of thing I should face alone.
That's probably a good idea, because it's one of those things where at like the 60 feet away, it's kind of like that could be one person or like two people sitting next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to tell. You double back inside, and everyone meets up. I assume you all share the information you gather?
Yes.
Barnaby arrives with a +1.
Yes. Who I forgot to ask. Friend, what's your name?
Oh, and Drico, and thank you again. And they walk with you as you approach the rest of your friends, and their eyes widen, swallowing this entire scene whole. It's a moment of just the kind of move into you, Barnaby, just to kind of see if like they're legit and they're on your side, before moving towards Wallace and Lailai, then turning back and seeing Coh'Jak. But Andrico is the name, as they go around introducing themselves to all of you.
There's more like him, and they need our help.
Listen, I was talking to your friend over here, and this is, oh my god, this is amazing. You guys actually killed Kyle, Ethan, Ivan.
Who exactly is he?
The guy invented the Scry Stone. Are you all? You don't have? You probably don't have Scry Stones where you're from. This, and it goes over and picks up one of the tablets and moves it around. he makes these. That's why he can do stuff like this and afford all of this and all of us. And wow,
Afford you.
I mean, not afford us, but just kind of like, it's hard to keep living things alive these days, I mean, you wouldn't know that, but
What was he using you guys for, Enrico?
I mean, just what everyone gets used for when they get sourced,
What is
Sourced.
getting sourced?
Enrico takes a moment to figure out the best way to explain. People here and the location that you're in is right outside of Charlotte. And Charlotte is one of 13 like huge cities where Enrico and other beings, specifically things that aren't undead or cursed with undeath, have to live just because they are the only places where you would get any carbon sinks, trees, natural life like that, clean and flowing water, and just to be outside of the wastelands in general. However, within the cities, you can be fined, you can be apprehended, you can be detained, and usually what happens after one of those is eventually gets sourced one way or another. I mean, if they don't get you one way, they get you another. And that's usually just where they send folks to, kind of create things like this. And it kind of goes back and points to the device.
Hold up. So what you're saying is they lock you up for some made-up crime.
Well, the crimes aren't made up. That they wrote them down. They enforce them.
They lock you up for some made-up enforcement, and then they use you as... They don't pay you, do they?
Pay as in what?
Prison labor. I
mean, yes, we're in prison, but it isn't so much labor as kind of do you know how, like, if you find gold in a mountain, you mine that mountain for more gold?
Mm-hmm.
The things that power this stuff, as he points to the devices, kind of exist in all of us.
So
give me an Arcana check for anyone who's proficient in Arcana.
Oh, that's not me.
While they do that, Barnaby's just going to reiterate. There are more of him. I found them. They need our help.
14.
I would motion for you guys to follow.
14. We both got 14.
Perfect. Lailai and Coh'Jak, it kind of connects for both of you. Coh'Jak seeing the vast wasteland of nothing out there, and Lailai immediately feeling the disconnect from just magic and the natural weave in this world. That's where they're getting the enchantment for all these devices from. And as Enrico goes on to explain, typically anyone that shows any sign of any innate or natural, like, magical aptitude are usually sort of sought after, either to go into service or to be sourced.
I think Lailai and Coh'Jak come to it at the exact same time. So we even turn towards each other and make eye contact, because I love that trope. That's it.
That's it. That's the trope.
That's the trope.
But I mean, the ones that were here, I mean, like, there's more people you can help.
What was here before?
Here, this is...
I mean, in this world, before
people like
all
Kyle,
of
Ethan,
this.
and Evan took over.
I mean, they've always kind of been around. They're older than most of us, to be honest. But that's something I was working on. I had a friend who had a compile of notes who've kind of like gone back and looked at things. We have everything of like what was before. and we have. Well, that's why I'm here. They found out about it, but if I can get to that, that would be huge. It can save so many more people. I just, if you can help me, that would be great.
They took your history from you because it makes it harder to fight back.
Yeah, just like you sound just like Husada. Yes, exactly.
Sound like who?
My friend Husada. It's a long story, but if we leave right now, we have so much time. We have so much daylight left. This is really good.
What happens when there is not daylight?
Well, I mean, for beings like us, it's best to take care of things, at like the peak of the life of day before it gets, too dark.
Beings like, oh, the living.
Anything outside of Charlotte's pretty much a sundown town.
I saw it outside. It's the wastelands. We need to get going then now. There's a vehicle outside.
What would I roll to... Wallace hasn't said a single word over the course. He's just been digesting information. What do I have to roll in order... Unless Lailai and Coh'Jak want to, I guess, explain this, and from what Wallace was able to gather on his own, what would he have to roll in order to get a understanding of exactly what's going on regarding now that he has knowledge of like the creation of like everything that I've first name, second name, third name has done.
Oh, so the question is, what does Wallace know in regards to Kyle, Ethan, Ivan, to...
Yeah, and with what he found and plus what he's hearing.
I think Wallace be kind of privy to all that information, and any of the points that might be like over their head are being kind of explained and chopped down as like this person is trying to explain to you all of kind of like the one-to-one of your world to their world. So all meta language, all meta talk your character gets.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wallace is going to show a bit of concern when, like visual concern, when Barnaby suggests to go help the others. But he's going to do his best to not make it as visible as possible. But if everybody is going to proceed, Wallace is going to follow behind.
Before we make a move, though, Andrico, friend, I have 3 quick questions.
Yeah, what's up?
Quick. And then Barnaby would take out the pen again and say, what exactly did he mean by embrace your identity?
I mean, if there was any other time if there was any time for you all to come here, I mean, this is the perfect time. The talk was that Kyle, Ethan, Ivan wanted to do a complete necro metamorphosis. You see, as Andrico goes in to explain how whites operate, where a white could create another white. And in doing so, this requires first the being to sacrifice their life and to embrace that power and that sense of undeath, which is how they're all connected. Kyle, Ethan's, Ivan's plan was to use the power that they were siphoning from one plane to create enough energy to create an entire city of whites, transforming anything that's not white into one. Now, Andrico goes on to explain the nuances of it. Of one, it probably kills more than it actually turns successfully. The process itself has a lot of very, very particular requirements that need to be met. or it's a 50-50 shot. More often than not, they pretty much turn beings into ghast or ghouls, non-intelligent, just endlessly carnivorous beings that only seek just to consume. The perfect consumer. The other end of it would be sort of a fuck you to the higher whites or the upper whites. This was all in Kyle Ethan Ivan's bid to promote their run for governor of Charlotte and to expand.
Interesting. He mentioned a name when we met him. Does the name Riva mean anything to you?
Who?
Riva.
They don't seem to be familiar with that at all.
And then the last thing is Barnaby reaches into his pack and pulls out this weapon that extends, and it's like a throwing javelin, and he goes, "Do you know how to use this?" And he gives Enrico a weapon.
You hand it to Enrico, and it's just kind of, they're about just a bit under Wallace's height. They have some build to them, but nothing compared to you all. They hold it, but they give a sure look of, I know what side's the pointy end, but I'm just going to try not to die.
Just in case.
Of course, yeah, sure.
So those people we need to help, they're outside past the wastelands.
They're probably gone by now, getting as farther away from here as possible. I have the better plan, though. You're going to have to trust me.
I need to process one more thing. This KEI, this man tried to commit genocide to create a few more of his people?
That's it's an if, and he kind of points over to like another button that says "White Lives Matter." It's technically they're a minority now, so it's complicated.
It's not that complicated.
I'll explain more. We just got to move. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Lead the way.
After it takes a while before they get kind of comfortable, not peeking around every corner, and they kind of drop their shoulders and start moving with like intention and knowing where they are, and they head out to the same exit that Coh'Jak reached, looking around before seeing a vehicle, pointing to it. Over there, and they start running.
Yeah, I keep a pace.
Barnaby outruns them.
Oh, Barney, you run past them?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're 45, right?
Barnaby, as you kind of like run past them where they're going, are you just running to the vehicle or just running just to keep up with them?
It starts as to keep up, but then Barnaby realizes that there is an objective and he still wants answers and wants to show off a little bit because he's an entertainer at heart.
You would be the escort quest with Elder Scrolls. Come with me, and you're just
Like, if Barnaby could, he would just put them under his arms and just run, you know? Like, if he had his way.
Barnaby, when you get about 30 feet away, give me a perception check.
Oh, geez. My eyes are shut. I rolled a 7.
You're just running towards this vehicle. As Enrico says, wait, hey! And starts what appears to be waving you down. But everyone else behind Enrico can see a figure in the vehicle turn their head towards you all. The figure sees Barnaby barreling towards them. And it takes a while before they make the sort of connection of Barnaby before looking at the person waving Enrico. And when you all get closer, to the vehicle, Barnaby, you'll see it first. You'll see a figure there, darker skinned, with gold ring kind of around their eyes. And Barnaby, when you actually get close and see them, their skin seems to be moving in a bit. Not in a way that looks like something's crawling on it, or that, it's like melting or in a sense, but like a slow swirl of beauty marks and moles, and other light pigmentation that kind of moves in a way that a galaxy would. As they kind of look out the window, bewildered at looking at you, but also seem to be more shocked that Andrico's running up to them. That's right. And at that moment, they slowly get out of the vehicle. As you all see what appears to be just a woman with some celestial ancestry, Asimar-like, step out with a, "What the fuck are you doing out here, Andrico? Who are they? What's going on in there?" Andrico, with a huge smile, says, "You won't believe what happened. Can we get a ride?" As this person looks around, and you would probably all notice by then, especially Lailai with the high passive perception, this woman is wearing the same outfit as the guards inside are wearing.
Wait.
Yeah?
Why are you dressed like them?
Because I work here. What are you? Who are you? What? Andrico, did you do this? Andrico just kind of shakes his head back and forth with like a shit-eating grin.
Jordan, if they were to be used as people, some of them would have been used as guards. Kyle Ethan instead. We
What?
need a ride.
Who?
We can discuss this as we move. We need a ride.
The Asimar looks at all of you before looking back at Andrico, who's just grinning once again with that underbite with the two tusks just kind of coming up, which makes like their smile even more pronounced. The Asimar looks you all once over and says, "In the back, quickly." And she takes her time to lift herself back up into the seat, closes the door as you all pile in the back.
Before she closes it, Barnaby wants to ask a quick question. How long of a ride is this?
"Andrico, where are we going?" Andrico calls back, "We're going to get Hasada. It's going to be a few hours."
I'm going to take a nap.
You all get a short rest.
Coh'Jak very much looks like he sits on the floor, head on whatever seat is supposed to be there for him, and he looks very much asleep. Or dead. One or the other.
Just... Okay.
Yeah, it's like relaxed in like a relaxing pose. But what's especially weird is that not a lot of half-elves sleep like this, and also not a lot of dead people sleep at all.
I mean, I think that's mostly what they do, sleep. The get your hit point recovery rolls in chat so we can update our hit points. But while you're all driving through this wasteland and this automated, near automated vehicle, you see that the gap between the vast open and emptiness of this desert is eventually met with some figures on the horizon. A large tower that rises above what appears to be some sort of glass or crystal dome that, instead of being just a single top of a spear, kind of ripples off more and more, and you see an expanding city. As you approach it closer and closer, you see more and more green kind of fill the horizon. And this is big glass domes, sort of, it's like more astropunk than, so like think of like Futurama or Jetsons type of, but instead of like, it's just so if you got that at home, it's more diesel than anti-gravity. But it looks a lot like sort of those Palm Valley, or like this used to be a creek, now it's dried up with a motel type of aesthetic. There is a sliding guitar playing in the distance of a meow wow as you approach sort of this oasis, massive oasis city. As Enrico just kind of points up ahead and says, "That's Charlotte."
The entire journey, or most of the journey, or more specifically, as long as Coh'Jak looks like they're asleep, Lailai is looking at Coh'Jak. That's it. That's all I have.
As we reach the end, Coh'Jak says out loud, "You must really hate this place, huh? It's not your type of... Never was."
Charlotte, born and raised. It's just...
Oh, I say that to Lailai, but I think absolutely loud enough for Enrico to hear.
I mean, it's got to make it better, right?
Whatever it was, it's not natural now, so we hope that it was.
All right. So here's the other thing. I need some help from you all. My friend Hasada, who had all the information about the history, right? Well, they're kind of also held captive inside of Charlotte.
Oh, great.
I was wondering if you could all... This is the person that's definitely going to know about how to also kind of get you all back too, right? You want to get back, right?
Just ask us. Straight up, ask us. Don't make it about us.
Okay.
Ask us to help your friend.
I'm afraid they're going to try to source Hasada too. If we can get in there right now, when the sun's like this high, perfect.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll do
Where
it.
is he?
And what about your friend who's driving?
You hear just from a voice and a very monotone with like some hint of just crassness of just help his friend and we'll figure out the rest, coming from up front. And
What's
Coh'Jak,
their
you
name
kind
again?
of... Oh. You didn't ask for their name.
Not at all.
Coh'Jak, though, does realize that I guess they were mistaken earlier from seeing two people inside the car.
I'd like to do a perception check. What's hidden?
Give me a perception roll on him.
Because something is... I get mistaken, but not I'm mistaken. It's a 7.
Yeah, I think that was probably just it. You're probably
Okay,
used to seeing more, or maybe they had something that was magical active when you first spotted them that's no longer active.
It's also like the tricky like waves of...
That mirage, that heat
Yeah.
will get you.
It does things.
Wallace still has not said a single word, but upon the mentioning of us helping out their friend, he's just going to give a nod.
As the vehicle approaches the city, it kind of does a turn away from what you would assume be kind of like the main entrance or route inside. It goes around and it stops. Driver turns off the engine, opens up the door, comes back around the back and opens up the back. And at that time, Enrico already has an improvise with just like scraps, dust, and just any sort of surface they're able to kind of draw symbols on, of showing you all of where in this jail their friend Hasada is being held. They give you the layout of a facility that rises above 4 feet with a basement that goes down 17 feet, or not 4 feet, 4 levels, and goes down 17 levels. explaining that a lot of the buildings and architecture is actually inverted to be subterranean, just because of the harsh sunlight and conditions up top. Fortunately for them, they keep a lot of the prisoners above as opposed to below. They would probably have to get to the 3rd or 4th level above ground. If there's any guards, most likely they're not going to be, hopefully, any whites or any undead sentinels like that, just because the sun is bright and shiny. But besides giving that information, Andrinka would have nothing else to offer you all to help out, but is very confident in your abilities to do something.
While Andriko's describing this, Lailai is changing. The hair becomes a well-coiffed afro. They get a bit taller. Their skin deepens. It looks a lot darker. They plump out slightly, and look a lot more femme. And they hold themselves slightly differently, more careful.
With this information about the facility of where Husada is being held, Andrico kind of gives you the general idea of what's inside. More or less, due to the sunlight and the whites and the other undead that seem to be in control in this area, there is sort of this reverse of nocturnal to diurnal, where there's not much happening during the day, but things tend to be more active at night, which is why there seems to be a rush on doing this before sundown.
Hey, driver, friend of ours, you mind telling us your name real quick?
I never gave it.
Yeah, that's fine. You can tell us now.
Is this really important? Is this necessary,
Yeah.
Andrico? And
I think it's
Andrico's
going to be important.
It's D. You can call her D. Is D fine?
All right. Yeah.
She just gives one of those breaths of just frustration.
Hey,
D, we're all noticing that your apparel seems to match what these other guards tend to be wearing. Do you think you could hook some of us up, make this a little bit easier?
Hook you up with what?
Outfits.
And then Barnaby would just gesture at his body. Yeah.
D looks around at all of you and just sort of like goes down the line, first at Lailai with a very a curious but judging look, looks up at Wallace and just kind of, without touching, just points to the horns, goes over to Barnaby and just does a full look at you, and then goes over to Coh'Jak and then points to your ears. And turns back over to Andrico, and D says, they're going to stick out like a sore thumb.
Not for long. And Lailai will look like D now.
Take a point of take an advantage. Take an inspiration point. Dee's eyes just sort of like, she does not know what to do with that. And it's just appearance, not clothing, right?
Correct.
She will switch over her outfit and give you her outfit and the keys to get into the space, as well as some manacles on the back for your 3 captors.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're all ready for the performance of a lifetime.
Here it is, folks. So, what I'm going to need from all of you is to get into this space, what each of you are going to do, and how you're going to go by each level.
D, do you think it would help if I looked a bit less living?
D looks at you and says, even you being dead wouldn't help at all. Cover your ears, my friend. I'll be waiting out back. Yeah, 3 hours. D hats back in the car and drives off.
The glaive that was in Coh'Jak's hand just disappears. And he musses over their head so that their hair falls over the ears. And anyone who's paying attention, close attention, will notice that, especially near the roots, it has begun to grow out again. So there are little hints that the black is pretty unnatural.
With Lailai disguised as D, the three of you head in to the city, and it's weird. It's bright, and it feels like, based upon the size of the space and the sheer difference of just the very empty, very dead desert, to a city of inhabitants of the undead that seems very alive, yet also empty. You kind of walk through these streets where there are roads big enough for more vehicles to go through. More buildings with this ever-changing enchantment of different words and text coming up, some accompanied by pictures, other screens showing the same images that Lailai has seen before, at least similar images, just in rotation, with like another sort of screen showing up with Kyle Ethan Ivan's face on it, with like bars showing just like numbers of like a popularity poll, or just like maybe just a total number of votes or something like that. As you all move through and you head to a huge building, which you've all been briefed on as the site and the facility where Andrikel's friend Hasada is being held captive. Now, here's the thing. Once you get there and you're kind of like going into the entrance, think of this as just sort of just like any other station where you get a bunch of folks who are armed to kind of like enforce arbitrary rules, mostly there just to protect, property, kind of stay. And you see outside of this facility, in the official lettering and official like labeling, the Partied Intel Gathering Service, where you see other figures wearing the same uniform with just like a different set of colors, or rather like an inverted set of colors, standing outside and on the interior. All of these are like D, and that they're also beings and have no sense of undeath on them. As you move through, some of them give you looks. They let D in, but they just kind of scowl and look in amazement, awful baffled at Wallace and Barnaby, and some just kind of give Coh'Jak some space as you all move through. Lailai, the first person that you talk to pretty much gives you, are you booking them in, or are you taking them in for questioning, or just being detained?
Both. Well, first ones.
All right.
No detaining right now.
They slide over a clipboard to you with a pen.
Who's the person above Lailai on that clipboard? Like,
the person above Lailai, that is Curtis Mistiff. And it's the time, which would probably be like 1 o'clock p.m., just right after high noon, with some other names. And you see calls for booking lethargy.
I'm sorry?
lethargy for a cause of booking. They've been brought in and detained for being lethargic.
Interesting. Has D signed here before? Is there a name starting with D anywhere here?
There are several. Divad, Diasmond, and Denise. Spelt like Dennis.
Lailai will try and copy that one.
Awesome. They don't even glance back at the clipboard after you scratch on it. But there's a way going to the left and to the right. Which way do you take them to?
Which way does the guard look?
Guard's looking down, flipping through
Guard's
a
just looking
paper.
down.
Same paper that Wallace was looking at earlier.
I recognize the look on Laila's face. Can I briefly glance down each hallway while everyone's busy staring at Lailai and, the other two to see which one is more likely? Which one's the one we should go down?
Yeah. Give me a perception check real quick.
I would love to.
Thank you very much.
Bloody hell, that's a 1.
Barnaby take a
Both ways
perception
look the
and take like
same.
a big sniff like last time?
This will be on Lailai. To the left or to the right?
Damn.
I look at Lailai and I just shake my head briefly. I don't know.
Going to the right.
You go over to the right way, and there's like one of those half doors that you just have to push and it lets you in. And eventually it takes you to a heavier door, and after pushing through, you hear the sound of locks being easily opened as you push. As the three walk in, the door closes behind you. There's an automatic lock that closes from this side. And as you walk down this level, you see the stairs heading up to the detainees and the other cells. There's another set of stairs going down and just says paperwork.
There's no one around, right?
Mostly meandering through.
Is anyone in this party injured still?
Technically, Lailai.
Yeah, I'm 3 points away from being full, but that's about it.
How much is everyone down by?
4.
12.
You're down by 12, Barnaby?
12.
Great.
Yeah.
That's like 10 away from 2. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
As we walk, I call the spirits that walk with me to my body, and then I bump into Barnaby and let some of that energy pass into them. I am a celestial warlock, so I have some healing light to give Barnaby.
Ooh.
I doubt it's that subtle, but I'm trying to make it subtle. It's a bonus action. I can heal one creature within 60 feet, spending max 2d6 at once. And I'm going to do just that. 2d6 for Barnaby. 10.
All right.
It's the nicest thing Coh'Jak has ever done for him.
A little bump. Not that kind of bump, you all.
While we're walking, Barnaby's gonna lean over to Wallace and say, I realize we don't even know what Hasada looks like. How do we know we got the right guy?
I have no idea.
I take it that Lailai led them up the stairs to the detainees in the cells.
Correct.
And once you get to that space, you see the next 3 levels being just one row of cell blocks, a second row of cell blocks, and a third. No floor in the center. Stairs on either side that allows you to go up and down to the 3 levels. They are full. And as Lailai walks in, as D and the others, you're immediately pelted with verbal assaults.
Sairwa?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, you whispering. Sorry.
I'm whispering to Lailai, and I'm calling them Sairwa. Once you lock us up, go back down to paperwork. You'll be able to find out what cell our prisoner's in.
Yep.
Hey.
Got it.
You got this.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Lailai, as you come through, you do see that there are other guards set on different levels, 3 on each level. They kind of direct you to the far end, and I assume by this time none of you have like any weapons or tools out, either kept in the car or kept in the vehicle, or just bamfed into mini space. Correct?
Do you have a weapon you can conceal?
I do. I do.
I know you do. You, I mean, you and Barney, like they're on you.
But I have enough fabric and a small enough weapon to properly conceal mine. How you doing over there, Barnaby?
I feel like Barnaby would have left his axe behind, but after much protest. But he does have his boomerang under his vest and his claws.
Why can't the axe wear the suit?
Yeah, it's like I'm able to like adjust my belt so that my battle axe is like more close to my backside, so it's concealed by my trench.
Cool.
Coh'Jak is as bare-armed as he is bare-legged.
Thought he was a half elf. Lailai, you are shown the cell to put these 3 in.
Mm-hmm.
And after that, I guess the guards kind of give you the look of like, get out of here. You're not even wearing the right uniform,
Mm-hmm.
And Lailai leaves. Hey, Lailai,
Hey.
your friends are locked up.
Yes.
Where are you heading to next?
Down to paperwork.
All right. Heading out and down, and Lailai, as you head out of the corridor where the cells, you pass a few figures before one reaches out and places a hand on your shoulder.
Lailai barely manages to halt the urge to like turn and punch him in the face, but turns and what?
Oh, hey, D, make sure you take it easy, all right? You can't be bringing savages like that in here on your own. You got to be more careful.
I'll be as careful as I can be.
All right, I know how you are. You got to take care of yourself, and they kind of point to you too, right at your stomach. That one's going to be great in the service, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
As they head right on through.
Continuing to paperwork.
Heading on up, give me an investigation check while I check on these 3. Wallace, Barnaby, and Coh'Jak enter their cell, and as D comes in and like these like slurs and verbal assaults are thrown at Lailai as D, as you walk by some of the figures, they kind of stop as they look at you all. Wallace, you notice a lot of them looking at your horns. Barnaby, you just see a lot of them just kind of like examining all of you. Coh'Jak, there are a few in there that just give you very narrowed eyes and like almost a head tilt. Once again, that look of trying to figure you out. Lailai, what was that investigation check?
It was a 13.
As you're all putting your sails in, Lailai, as D leaves, a couple of the guards come around you all, just kind of poking and prodding, seeing what's going on in here. Do you respond to any of their taunts or jeers at all from the guards?
Is it just the 3 of us in a cell, or are there other individuals with us?
There are a few, but they're giving you all your space. The size of the cell itself can hold about like 20 or so people comfortably. There's about 13 of you all in the space. spread out.
I'm also guessing we're pretending to be shackled, right? Like these aren't actually locked. We're just holding it in place.
They're locked, but I doubt that Barnaby would have a hard time breaking out of it with a successful strength check.
Okay.
Wallace is saying nothing.
I lean forward. And in my hands, slowly knitting together, a weapon is forming, hidden in my clasped hands. But I look at Wallace. Hey, do you want to talk?
This is the third time this has happened to me. And this is the most dangerous it has ever been. I don't really care for it.
You know, where I grew up, we don't really have buildings so much as we build inside of a mountain. But the outside of the mountain is beautifully carved. Problem is, there's no real way up to the top. Unfortunately, that's where we keep our beacons. We warn each other. Should danger arise, should we see a storm coming, we use different smoke signals to convey that kind of information. So one of your rites of passage when you're a kid, and this, like, maybe a hint of light escaping from his clasped hands, but still very covered, is you climb the side of the mountain. No one exactly tells you how. You're just expected to learn. And it is, honestly, daunting. I mean, the side of a mountain, carved beautifully as it is, it's not really built with staircases or anything else in mind. So as you look up, you're supposed to see the sun, and you're supposed to realize that there is a chance, that you might die trying to set up the smoke signal. Testing to actually light up the damn thing. It's to test your nerve. It's honestly a bit shitty, but traditions are traditions. Wallace, this is not a test of your skills. Because I'm telling you right now, you've got this in the bag. Barnaby's got this in the bag. Lailai's got this in the bag. Even I do. Wallace, this is a test of your nerves. And as long as you remember that there'll be people to catch you when you fall, don't feel fear. Feel resolve. And he opens up his hand, and a rather interesting weapon appears. It looks like 4 claws that start off as brass and end in crystal, all connected to a band with 2 rings. So you could slip them on. It would look like 2 rings from one side, and on the other side, claws are formed. In real life, it's an Indian weapon often called a tiger's claw, but it's really cool. So I'm going to put my culture to this. And clasping his hands over it so the claw tips almost point in his hand. If you want to get out of here right now, we can do that. But I think the best thing we can do is wait for our friend to come back.
While they're having this conversation, Barnaby is standing at the bars looking at all the guards and sizing them up, and every time they have an insult, he smiles and takes it, prepared to respond with a few of his own and intimidate if folks are cool with that. I know Wallace isn't.
Yes, but how's LaRon feel? That's the
Coh'Jak, I'm fine with the plan. And I understand. But the reason why I'm so afraid to climb that mountain isn't necessarily because it's daunting or the fear of death. It's because, and we probably have this in common, I've climbed it before, in my own special way. And I fell off that mountain. in my own special way. And ever since I arrived to where we once were, I've been afraid that someone else might fall off that mountain. And I wouldn't know about it. And now we're here. And it's a completely different mountain. But the drop is even more devastating than the one that we were just tasked with.
And the person who might fall. And I give a quick glance to Barnaby.
Time after time, you think that because I've been so accustomed to different versions of this mountain that I'd be used to it by now, but you never get used to it.
No. But that's part of living. As it turns out, it's part of death too.
I'm going to switch the scene back over to Lailai with that 13 of investigation. Lailai, you're able to find a few things. It takes you a while before you're able to see the entire layout of the current prisoners. But you are able to find essentially this world's version of just a carbon sheet that matches up with the name of Fasada, how you can only imagine how it's spelled. And looking at the characters, just because the language here is common enough for you all to kind of figure it out and speak it and decipher it. Hasada was brought in. Hasada is here. Hasada is specifically expected to be publicly sourced about the quarter night after sundown. So 6 hours after, well, midnight, pretty much.
Okay.
What you also find is information regarding to the intel party member of Desmona Carvan, who is still expected on transport duty until they give their child over.
Right.
Going back down to the bottom, Barnaby. What's up with that intimidation check?
Yeah, so Barnaby is leaning up on the bars, and since he's shackled, it's kind of more like this. And his intimidation is a 20. He's saying things like, being on the other side of these bars, you all seem a little soft. You seem a little weak. You seem a little pathetic where I'm standing. I bet I could take on all of you and leave these on. Not one of you would make it out.
You hear one of them yell, "The rest of you stand back," as the 3 guards on that level go by the entrance of the gate, and 2 more come down with the other 3rd on that 2nd level looking down at them. And the gate opens. And we're going to stop right there for today. Thank you all for playing. And before we go, let's have everyone say their name and what they like and where you can find them. Starting with you.
Hey, it's me. We knew exactly who Kiss was referring to, and it's this guy. Hey, my name is Nord Ali. My pronouns are he, him. You can find me online on all the things at Werewolf Feels, including my own Twitch channel, and Twitter, and Instagram. I'm also a writer, a cultural consultant. The next big project you've probably heard me being involved in is Into the Motherlands. I'm writing for it.
Ooh.
I can't wait. I'm also very nervous, but then again, I always am. What do I like? I like you. That's right, you.
Just you.
Yeah.
Hey, hi, hello, here, howdy, and so long, farewell, auf Wiedersehen, and good night. My name is Courtney, they, them, Sparkly Kiss everywhere on the internet, still playing Nancy Drew games, still crying, because some of those games are really mother effing scary. I was Barnaby today, the hot mess, who is probably going to get himself killed, but it will have been worth it, because all eyes would have been on him. That's all that matters. My favorite thing is making Laron make faces and be like, oh my god! So I'm glad we had a few of those today.
You do that so well.
Thanks.
Speaking of which, hey, I'm Laron. He pronouns he him. I play Wallace Bullheart, also he him, the Minotaur with feelings. And you can find me at most places at Readus101, READUS, the number 1, the number 0, the number 1, where I do the YouTube stuff, and I'm mostly on Twitter. And things that I like are how emotionally complicated this situation that we are now currently in are making both me and my character.
And that leaves me, Chantel B, who is on Twitter at Chantel B. I didn't mean to rhyme. I'm sorry. I am a writer, actor, psychologist, a blend of all sorts of strange things you can find. I mean, there's anything to do with words. I've probably done it. You can find anything that I've done, or most of the things that I've done, through my Twitter bio. There is a link tree. You can also find me at Lost Worlds Archive, where I play an ongoing campaign. What do I like? I like everything. Everything except scary things. Yes.
That's great. That's our players. Once again, that's our players. Once again, I'm your dungeon comrade, Nathaniel Kiss, aka What Is Kiss, aka Die Candy, and I'm happy that you're here to listen to us today, and I hope to hear you listen to us next time. I want to hear you next time you listen to this. Let's make it work. When you listen to this, I want to be able to hear you. Future you. I'm saying this from the past. There you go. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Dice fans, for having us. And hey, you keep doing you. Bye.